The name of our experiment was Determining Chemical Formula Results by Jordan Cundiff and Trey Emmert. John Dalton's atomic theory has 5 main points. Matter is made up of indestructible atoms. All atoms of an element are identical. Atoms of different elements have different weights. Atoms of different elements combine in simple whole numbers to form new compounds, and atoms cannot be created or destroyed. We found this at chem.purdue.edu.
With this experiment, we want to determine the water of the hydration, conduct a reaction, determine mass and moles from the experiment, and calculate the empirical formula. The experiment is designed to show us the elements combined to form compounds.
In this experiment, we measured the weight of the crucible and then placed the compound in the crucible. Then we put it over a flame until all crystals turn brown. Then we measured the mass of the sample by subtracting the crucible weight from the total weight. Then we transferred it to a 50 milliliter beaker and added a 20 centimeter piece of aluminum wire. After that, we added 5 drops of 6M HCl. Then we scraped it clean the aluminum wire and collected and washed the copper. We set up a Buckner funnel and measured the weight of the filter paper and then placed it in the funnel. Then we washed the copper onto the filter paper and washed 2 more times. Then we turned off the suction and added 10 milliliters of ethanol before turning it back on. We measured the mass of the empty watch glass and transferred the copper into it. Finally, we placed the glass under a heat lamp and measured the mass of the glass and the copper.
This table shows the masses of each sample from the experiment and the items we used to find the weight. The crucible was 24.66 grams. The crucible with the hydrated sample on it was 25.91 grams. So subtracting those two, we found the hydrated sample with 1.25 grams. And so the crucible with an anhydrous sample was 25.50 grams. So again, subtracting the anhydrous from the crucible, we got the anhydrous sample, which was 0.84 grams. Then subtracting the hydrated sample and the anhydrous sample, we got the water that was involved, which was 0.41 grams. Then an empty watch glass weighed 91.55 grams. So watch glass with the copper on it, 96.51 grams. So subtracting those, we got the copper, which was 4.96 grams. How long was that one?
The mass of chlorine was 0.72 grams. We divided that by 35.45, which is the atomic mass of chlorine, to get the moles of 0.020. Then the mass of copper was 0.12 grams. We divided that by 63.55, the atomic mass of copper, to get 0.02 moles. The empirical formula is CuCl6 because it takes 6 chlorine atoms and 1 to make 1 copper atom.
We recorded a few observations from the experiment. After heating the hydrated sample, the substance seemed to dry and it changed colors, changed to brown. Then when we poured the water back onto the substance, it rehydrated itself with the copper ions, and then it turned back green.
In conclusion, we found out how accurate John Dalton's theory really is. We saw that we never lost or gained any atoms. And we also learned how to do the empirical formula, which is the formula with the smallest whole numbers. As I said earlier, we had CuCl6, a ratio of 6 to 1. 6 chlorine atoms to 1 copper atom. The other main points were matter is made of indestructible atoms. We didn't lose any atoms or gain any during this experiment. All the atoms we used in the and it were identical. None of them changed elements, and we saw that they had different weights as well. Our resources for this experiment and project video included chem.purdue.edu, where we looked up facts about John Dalton's atomic theory. Dr. Chris Mullins, he is our chemistry professor on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 to 1:50, and then our lab, train hours lab is Chem 11392. Thursdays, 9:30 to 12:15. This experiment was conducted on 9/18/2014, and the video was done October 22nd of 2014. We would like to thank our two guests right here, and then this fine gentleman right here. And